Here we go. And here we are. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to Staples High School. We're live. Thank you so much. It happened you're live, everyone. Welcome. We are at Fairfield University today, and here for the FCIAC final between the Staples Wreckers and the Ridgefield Tigers. A rematch of the last regular season game. And again, I have with me here Good Luck Charm.
Good luck. Third time's a charm.
Jordan Schur, how are you, Jordan?
Great to see you again.
Listen, we're doing this. We keep winning the games. We're going to keep doing it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Ride the wave.
First, let's talk about the environment here today. I mean, how cool is it to be here?
No, it's great. It makes you wonder why they didn't change earlier.
Yeah.
It's an awesome court, awesome arena, cool experience for the kids and the fans.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this place, when it gets loud, it's going to be rocking tonight. I think the fans are here. They're already showing up. But let's talk about, first, let's recap a little bit what we saw. I went back and I listened to a lot of our pregame, and you were spot on. When the game was low scoring, Ludlowe had an edge. Then when the Wreckers started scoring again in that third quarter, they took the game over.
Yeah,
that last game.
Ludlowe cut the lead to 16-14 at halftime, and it was a low-scoring game. I think the teams were 4 for 25 combined in the first quarter. It was the low-scoring game that Ludlowe wanted.
Yeah.
I think you heard it from Coach Schur after the game. They went to the locker room. Let's open up this game. Let's push the pace. Let's get creative. Let's get aggressive on offense. And you know what? Matty Corrigan came to play in that second half.
He did. I mean, him and Nudell had a tremendous score. I mean, they both had great scores. They both finished the game with 15. Right, so I could have thought any of them. It was so great.
You know what? We know we're getting 15 from Adam.
Oh, yeah.
But 15 from Matty is loud.
Yeah, and I think it was 3 possessions where he scored in a row in that third quarter, which was excellent, right? I mean, that's what we're going to do. Now, tonight, we were both at the Ridgefield game.
Yep.
Wreckers got out to a fast start and dominated that game. How do you think the game's going to go tonight? You think a little bit like that, or you think they're going to do something different?
You know, these teams and coaches are so familiar with each other. They played in the FCIAC semifinals the last 2 years. They're playing again this year. You know, they know what each other run. They know each other's systems. Last Wednesday, 81 points without Sam.
Yeah.
Feels like an A+ outcome. I expect tonight Ridgefield will probably make some adjustments. Staples seem to be open often. Loman got looks when he wanted them. Hire had looks. Drew Hill had looks. Udell had looks. I would expect Ridgefield to make some adjustments.
Yeah, in last game too, what I think happened is Tobias early on attacked Pete, got him in foul trouble, and that kind of really happened. How do you see the big man matchup going? I think Tobias and Chukowski is going to be a big key to the game.
That was maybe the key to last game at Ridgefield. Ridgefield's big man, all-conference first team, first possession of that game, he gets called for a charge. So that's kind of the Tobias specialty. I would imagine he's the leader in the FCIAC in charges taken.
Yeah.
We can get 21 in foul trouble. He played limited minutes last Wednesday. That would be a dream scenario for Staples.
It would. And in the semifinal, Ridgefield, they 34. Mahoney kind of struggled a little bit. How do you think the Wreckers going to be able to contain him tonight? Because him and Pete are going to be the key to that game for them.
Yeah, I mean, 34 and 0 are both pretty good guards. I don't think they're Adam level, Sam level, but they're solid. I think 0 had 17 points last game.
And he's got a long 3-shot he hits all the time.
He does. He's a good player. I think he's only a sophomore. He's a good player, but Staples has to win the guard battle. Austin has to hold his own against those guys. We know Adam will hold his own against them, and that's one of the keys.
Yeah, and so, you're talking backcourt. What do you think we can expect today from, the Staples of the team? How do you think they're going to attack this game? Like I said, they're so familiar. Where do you see the strategy going into today's game?
Yeah, it's weird. But to answer what Staples is going to do, I think we need to know what Ridgefield's going to do.
Sure.
Now, I think they have a strategy decision. They can do what Ludlowe did, which is guard man to man, don't help off your man, and make Staples beat you one-on-one. That's one strategy. They can also sit in a zone, say we're going to cover Loman, we're not going to let Adam through the middle, and then how you're going to beat the zone. So I'm interested to see whether Ridgefield comes out in zone or man.
So the zone, when Ludlowe played Wreckers the first time, they came out in the zone. Remember that?
Yes.
And then because the zone is about missing shots, and the Wreckers didn't have a good first half, but then the second half they went to man, dominated. So if Ridgefield watched that tape, they might come out in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, look, I saw the Ridgefield coach at the semifinal. Ludlowe did a pretty good job of holding Staples in check for the entire first half. I'm sure he took some things away from that game.
Yeah, and I think that you're always looking for who's going to be the unsung hero for tonight's final, right? So, who's your money on who's going to come out step big? That we have, like I said, 50 for Maddie was a surprise, but who do you think is going to be tonight? There's something we can do.
Are we assuming that Mason and Adam show up?
Absolutely, I think we have to. Right?
So we're assuming they show up. I think we're going to get a couple key plays from Austin Hire. I think we're going to get, he had a layup in the Ludlowe game, which was big in the third quarter. He had another layup he should have made. I think they trust him more and more each game. His minutes have grown. His confidence has grown. I think we're going to get a big Austin three-pointer.
And it's funny you bring up Austin because I would look at some of the highlights against Ridgefield. A lot of times, Austin found himself under the basket with the ball, and he was making the right decisions, the right outlet pass, or turnaround going on. I mean, talk about he's played how, look, like you said, nobody's going to step in for Sam, but he's doing such a good job, isn't he?
You know what? It's a tall order when you're playing 5 to 7 minutes a game, and then all of a sudden you're thrown in and you got to play 25 minutes a game in the highest pressure situations, that exist. It's hard. It's hard, but you can tell they trust him, and he's growing into the role. He's growing into it.
Okay, and now I want to talk to you about foul trouble as well. The last semifinal that, Adam, Maddie have been playing aggressive defense, seeing foul trouble. What do the records have to do to stay out of that and keep everybody on the floor tonight?
Adam cannot get cheapies. I don't know if how closely they watch the semifinal. Chiroa, first team all-league for Ludlowe, didn't even see the rim until Adam got his second foul with 3 minutes left in the half. Adam subs out. He gets 7 points to finish the half. They cut it to 16-14. He gets his confidence going. Adam cannot pick up the cheap fouls because he's as valuable defensively as he is offensively.
Yeah, it's a great point because, the whole season, Coach Schur talked about how the defense creates the offense, right? Yeah. And if you lose that defense, you lose your identity.
No, it's weird to say on a team that just scored 80 on Ridgefield, but defense is the identity. Yeah. You don't get blown out if you have great defense and you avoid kind of droughts and barrages from the other team. The defense has to be the DNA.
I think it has to. And we talked a lot about Ridgefield strategy, Staples strategy. Give me your keys to the game. Key for Staples to win this championship. Finally, right? I mean, listen, I don't know. It's been 62 years since the last FCIAC. I mean, this kids are not even close to being born. We weren't even born when that happened.
No, so I think the Ridgefield coach alone probably has 5 times as many FCIAC titles as Staples does in history.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, right now I'm hoping that third time's a charm, right? But do you think it's in their heads a little bit, or do you see them tonight really coming through with the championship?
I actually think the game is going to play tight. So I think the key is actually maybe the coaches. I think that these are probably the 2 best coaches in the conference. I think it's going to come down to adjustments. The Ludlowe game came down to a second half adjustment. Coach Goldshore and the staff did a great job. You know what? The Ridgefield finale came down to coaching. Those Staples kids were so amped up for that game, despite losing Sam, that they weren't going to be denied. Tonight might come down to second half adjustments. You can't just fall in love with the game plan you bring. You got to make adjustments, and I think both will. And the better adjustment might win.
Yeah, and listen, you're a coach, so you know this. A lot of times people say, well, adjustments at halftime don't really happen, but we've seen Staples do it and do it well.
No, I mean, we see them done it a lot this season. Yeah. I mean, they're a perimeter-oriented team, and I would say in the second half of the Ludlowe game, Maddie got downhill, Adam got downhill, Austin got downhill. I mean, you could tell it was a focus.
Yeah, it was. So the last 2 years, I think the finals have been, like I said, close games, but tonight we're really hoping they break that and bring that title home.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's an incredible accomplishment making 3 straight FCIACs, but as you make each one, the expectations get higher.
Right.
I think 2 years ago, I think Danbury actually was the better team. I think Staples should have won last year. And, this year, I think Staples has, they should win this game. They have the pieces, they have all the talent, and they have the pedigree now. It's time to win one.
Listen, tied game in the fourth quarter. You take that any day, right?
You get me to a close fourth quarter with Adam, and I'll take my chances.
Absolutely. Fine. Give me a score for the game.
Let's go with 63-59 Staples.
Love it. Jordan, thanks again so much. Let's hopefully celebrate after.
Yes.
Everybody enjoy the game. We'll see you guys afterwards. Thanks for joining us. Go Rutgers. Sweet, man.
Good.
We're off.
Thank you.
Stop. It was
Thank you.
awesome.